Hello, this is Pamela Knight, presenting my presentation from Religion 360, BO1, Practical Teaching. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the message on Christ, the Deity, good news of freedom, and identify events in the life of a servant. Every person should believe in God by following the directions given by Christ. Every person should submit his or herself to governing authorities because there is authority, no authority except that which God has established. The book of Mark begins with Jesus' baptism by John the Baptist. Jesus calls for his first 4 disciples at Sea of Galilee. Jesus says, "Come, follow me," to Simon and his brother Andrew. They were all fishermen. "I will send you out to fish for people," Jesus said. When they had gone farther, he saw James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John in a boat. He called them. They left and followed Jesus as well. Jesus went into the synagogue and began teaching the good news as one who had authority. The people were amazed at Jesus' teaching the good news. Then a man in the synagogue who was possessed by a demon with an impure spirit, and he cried out to the Lord. And Jesus' superior power silences the demon-possessed man. With authority, Jesus' authority is how he taught such astounding spiritual power. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you need to be free from, but whatever it is, freedom is staring you right in the face. I know somebody who's duly authorized and anointed with supernatural power to set captives free. The good news of the gospel is free. In the harbor of New York City stands a lady inscribed on Lady Liberty. As you so well know of these words, "Give me your tired and your poor and your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuge of your teeming shores, send these homeless tempests tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. On Lady Liberty's crown are 7 spikes reflecting 7 seas and 7 continents. With the invitations stand open to all to come to freedom. At base of Lady Liberty is a chain that has been broken. She stands there in the harbor of New York to represent what this nation was to be founded upon and the nature of how it operates. She called Lady Liberty stands for freedom. Freedom is something that belongs to a country, a nation. Freedom is something God offered in the Garden of Eden. From every tree of the garden you may freely eat. We have defined freedom as release, illegitimate bondage, so you can now experience becoming what you are created and redeemed to be. Paul said it was for freedom Christ has set you and me to be free. He didn't set us to stay in bondage, and yet many of us today find ourselves bound. Personal bondages, known as addictions. The biblical phrase for it is strongholds. Things that are holding us hostage and keeping us from being what we know God wants us to be. I'm talking to the person who really wants to be free. They want to leave where they are and get to where they supposed to be, are supposed to go, and looking for freedom. Their relational bondages, where people are bound to people they shouldn't be bound to, known as codependency, or people wanting to know, do I have to stay in this relationship? Am I stuck here? And I am bound to this unhappy situation. And they are longing to be free. There are circumstantial bondages that people find themselves in, whether it's economic, and they are bound by not having enough to make ends meet, or maybe there are physical realities. They're bound to feeling bad because of circumstances happening within their bodies, and they are longing to be free from the disease. Freedom comes in all shapes and all sizes. Freedom does not mean no restrictions. Freedom means being released from illegitimate restrictions. We are free to live in water because we were not created for that. So we are bound by air and land. So freedom doesn't mean the absence of restriction. It just means a removal of illegitimate restrictions. God in the garden gave a restriction. For every tree of the garden, you may free to eat the tree in the most of the garden. You may not, that was off limits. That is an illegitimate restriction. Jesus Christ has now gone public. He's asserting who he is as the Son of God, the Son of Man, and one person, the most unique person who has ever entered history. Because he was God, he raised the dead. Because he was God, he could move in his humanity based on his deity, his relationship to deity. He says, the Spirit of the Lord is on me, and he has anointed me to preach the good news. The gospel, the word gospel, mean the good news, the message. Thank you.